What is the secret to developing a strong emotional bond with your child or teenager? As parents, we know intuitively that this bond is incredibly important, and an avalanche of research now backs this up. How deeply connected we are to our children can have a huge impact on their healthy development, and it turns out on how easy and enjoyable it is to be their parent. But in practice, this is tricky. The busy lives we lead as modern parents can make it really difficult to find the time and energy for connecting. We have more things to do each day than we have hours or arms to do them, and when we're competing for our children's attention with Minecraft and Mr. Beast, it can sometimes feel like an impossible task. Sometimes the parents I work with tell me that this level of difficulty leads them to just want to give up, especially when their children's behaviour is really challenging or life is especially full. But this is exactly when our children need connection with us more than ever. So how can we put connection right at the top of our priority list each day, even when life is really tough? In this video, I want to show you a really simple framework for how to know exactly how you can connect with your child each day in a way that's actually going to work for your life and for their temperament. But first, I want to show you why building connection with your child is a little bit like lighting a fire. It can be a little bit tricky to get started at first, especially if it's damp or windy, but once it gets going, it only needs gentle maintenance. And we can think of building connection with our children in this modern world as a little bit like trying to light a fire outside on a windy hillside in damp weather with wet wood. It can be really hard. These modern world conditions make connection with our children extremely difficult, as I explore in this video, and yet the theory of fire building is the same regardless of the conditions. All you need to know in order to light a roaring fire is what fuel to add and in what order. The first type of fuel that any fire needs is something light and flammable. This is easily lit, it lights up quickly, but it also doesn't burn for long. It flares up and burns out quickly. In connection terms, this would be all of the fun, light, easy things we do with our children. Things like laughing together, playing games, jumping on the trampoline, running around, singing and dancing, watching TV, being silly together. Anything that is quickly enjoyable and connects you to your child on the level of fun, humour and joy. You need enough of this light stuff to add a quick burst of heat in order to ignite the next level, which is the kindling. This is the layer of light wood that can catch really easily from the paper. It burns hotter than the paper, but it will also burn out fast if there's not enough of it. In connection terms, this is the level of daily loving interactions, affection, companionship. This is reading books in bed together, hugs and back rubs, saying I love you, eating meals together, chatting about our days. It's the companionship and loving affection of daily life with our children. You need enough and a stable enough layer of this to get the next level going, which is the big wood. The heavy fuel that will get the fire burning hot and will ensure that the fire properly takes hold. In connection terms, this is deep intimacy, safety and trust. This is being able to listen to our child's pain, hearing their deep fear and despair, and supporting them when they really need us. It's seeing them and accepting them and loving them exactly as they are, however they are showing up on any given day. It's noticing when we've impacted them and taking steps to repair the hurt. It is deep, intense commitment to the relationship over time through challenges and change. The fire cannot burn hot and long without this layer, but if you put it in too soon without enough paper and kindling, the fire can't get hot enough to catch. We need all of these types of fuel in a fire and all of these types of connection to build a deep and resilient bond with our children. If your fire isn't lighting well, we can pause to think about which type of fuel we might be missing. Are we missing the fast burning layer that we needed to get the fire started? Are we lacking enough of the middle layer to allow the heat to develop? Or are we missing the bigger bits of fuel that we really need in order to get the fire nice and hot and self-sustaining? In terms of connection with your child, you can run the same diagnostic process. So grab a piece of paper if you haven't already burned it, and let's do this together. Hold your piece of paper in 3 and write in the first column, what do you currently do on an average day that's light, quick and fun with your child or teenager? Notice anything that you're already doing. In the second column, what are you already doing that's building affection and companionship on a daily basis? And in the third column, what are you doing that's building the deeper intimacy and trust with your child? Once you've filled in these columns, have a little look. and think, where are there gaps? Which of these am I finding hardest? Which of these do I think my child is missing out on? And which of these am I or my child resistant to? If you notice there are some gaps, that is okay. You're not alone. We will all notice gaps sometimes, and at different ages and life stages and seasons of our own and our child's life, we're going to find some of these easier or harder. The important thing is to notice the pattern over time and notice where there are gaps, because this gives you incredibly useful information. If you see a gap, you know where to put your attention. This is what a great fire builder actually is. Not someone who puts all of the right wood in at once and leaves it that way, but rather someone who is willing to watch the fire with curiosity and love and notice what tending is needed. Wherever you sense there is a gap, brainstorm a few ideas that you think could build up the heat at each of those layers. And when you're thinking about this, be sure to think of this in terms of what would work for your child's temperament, their age, their developmental stage, their current willingness and openness to you, and also what is doable for you. What feels possible and practical for you in this life stage? There is no one-size-fits-all pattern of how to build connection with a child, but the principles are the same. Some children will thrive with fishing trips and kicking soccer balls. Others will want to read books back to back in the sun with you. Some will like big bear hugs, while others just want you to hold their hand quietly. So when you're doing this, don't compare yourself to other families or what you see in social media or TV. Tend your own fire using the wood that you have in the conditions that you're in to build the hottest, brightest fire you can, patiently watching and noticing when more fuel is needed and being willing to try something to see if it catches. One of the biggest blocks I see in the work I do with parents to getting this connection fire really hot with children is the challenge of behaviour and the social pressure we have to make our children do what we say. If this is something that's challenging for you, have a look at this video where I explore how we can create the conditions where our children are able to choose to cooperate with us.